Hey, 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 Dreamaniacs! I'm Szebastian Onne, the Almost Naked CEO, currently reporting from planet Earth. And the time right now is amazing! I do sound like trying to be an opera. An opera? Oprah Winfrey. Oh my God, just kill me. Okay, anyway, jokes aside. So I am starting the Almost Naked conversation, and unscripted version, uncensored version, and I'm going to do this at least 2 to 3 times a week. So if you're watching anywhere right now, anywhere on the Facebook, please come to www.facebook.com/DromaniacTV. The link is going just below me here. So please come to this page so I can see your comments and I can interact with you. I can put up your comments. I can answer any messages you have, any questions you have. So today I decided 3 topics that I will talk about. And let's go in a sequence. I know on the banners you may have seen them in a different sequence, but I just wanted to start with a positive note. So, pardon me. The very first thing that comes to my mind that I have been working on personally myself, and that has been a challenge, I would say by choice, because I have overlooked that part of my life, and that is having balance in life. Balance is not an option. It is a necessity. Often we think, right now this is my priority, so I'll do this first, I'll do that first, and I'll figure things out later. Yeah, so balance is not an optional thing. Balance is not something that, okay, I'll take rest later, I'll look after myself later. Right now, I need to do this. And most of us do that. I am guilty of that. But guys, balance is not an option. Balance is a necessity. One simple fact that I've learned from my own mistakes, that if you do not give yourself enough rest, if you do not give yourself enough care, if you do not respect your own mind, body, and soul, it's going to come back to bite you. Your body will crash. You will struggle mentally. You will not be a happy person. You will be under a lot of pressure. You'll be unhappy. You'll be dissatisfied. You'll be disoriented. And in the end, you're affecting your own health. So the very purpose for which you were not taking rest, you were not balancing life, is killed because you'll either be sick or too stressed or both. And that ruins the entire purpose of performing great, doing all the hard work and achieving by not resting, by not balancing life, not having a work-life balance. You actually end up being sick and losing more productive time that you could have achieved more things in. So balance is not an option, and that's right. Eleni says the ability to choose is one of our greatest gifts. So you make the choice. That's so right, Eleni. And I said your name correctly this time. So that's absolutely correct, Eleni. You always have a choice. Which choice will you make is going to decide what happens, right? And my team, and I'm assuming this is Alicia, yes, you need to take good care of you. And that's exactly right, Alicia. Until you take good care of yourself, you cannot take good care of anything. A project, a person, a family member, a relationship, anything, even pets. If you're not looking after yourself, how are you going to look after anybody else or anything else, right? So balance, I believe, is a necessity. Balance, I believe, is something we must focus on to look after ourselves, to take care of ourselves, and so that we are refreshed, we are energized, and we are able to give our best to our life, to our projects, to our clients, to our friends, to our family, right? And that's right, Karen. Karen is one of my friends / clients, and she says a lot of companies say They promote work-life balance, but they don't mean it. That is so correct. And Karen, I am guilty of that. I have done that a lot. And I was just talking to Alicia about that as well. So since last week, I have reinforced the fact that when it's time to log out, it's time to log out. When you're busy, you're busy. When you're away, you're away. You do not owe anybody more than what you have signed up for. And that's very, very crucial. So I agree, Karen. I myself have done that. I know we all are a very passionate team. We want to do our best for our clients. We want to achieve a lot, but at what cost? Not at the cost of our own health. If I'm not healthy, if I'm not fit, if my team is not healthy, how the heck are they going to give anything good to anybody at all, right? And yes, Eleni, balance, equilibrium, alignment, we are at our best when we are in that zone. Absolutely right, Eleni. You know, when we are balanced, we are able to do our best. We are able to perform our best. Speaking of which, speaking about balance, speaking about looking after ourselves, there's one more thing that comes to mind, which is goals, goals, goals. We all have goals, right? Professional goals, personal goals, makes, relationship goals, family goals, parenting goals, all that. But I was watching another live, and I just want to make sure that I say the name right, because I do have a habit of taking names incorrectly. So I want to thank Gospel Emegara, I believe. I was watching her live, and she was talking about goals. So practically, very honestly, I've taken most of the pointers from her live session that I want to share with you guys as well. So I want to credit her for sharing this with her audience. I was one of her audience as well, and giving us a reminder of what's more important when it comes to goals. So when it comes to goals, the first thing that we need to focus on is set smaller goal sets. Don't give yourselves a huge list of goals, a humongous list of hundreds of goals per week, per day. Define goals in smaller sets. Define goals in tiny, tiny blocks of achievable, of realistic, deadlines, realistic expectations out of yourself. Have very clear expectations. What do you want? How much do you want? And are you capable of it? Is that something you can really realistically achieve? Have realistic deadlines. Don't put yourself under undue pressure by giving yourself the deadlines that you know you cannot achieve, that you know are impossible to achieve. There's a difference between being a go-getter, pushing the boundaries, going beyond your limits to achieve something. Yes, that's great. It's your passion. You're excited. You want to prove yourself. You want to make things happen. But at what cost? Do you want to make it happen at the cost of stressing yourself, again, losing the work-life balance, getting sick, not being well, and not being able to perform well at all if you are just setting yourselves for with unrealistic deadlines, because you are, from the very beginning, setting yourself up for failure. So why not have smaller sets of goals? Have 5 goals a day, maybe have 3 goals a day. Have realistic and clear expectations, and have the realistic deadlines that you know you will be for sure able to achieve. Do it right, do it best quality, do it perfectly, and give your best and have the desired outcome as you were expecting. And Eleni says, the more specific, the better, but it must be something you can truly relate to. That's so right. Be very, very specific with your goals. Be very, very clear with your goals. And just make sure that you relate to it. Just make sure that you actually understand what you're trying to achieve, and can you achieve that? Are you capable? Do you need to delegate something? Do you need to receive some kind of help? Do you need some guidance? Do you need some support? Please consider all that and then set your goals. Having realistic deadlines is so important. And one thing I'm going to say, ignore social pressures when it comes to your goals. So, the biggest mistake we make, and I again have to really thank Gospel for highlighting this point, and I did not even think of that until I watched her live. It is so true that we build our goals based on the social pressure around us. They expect me to do this. They expect me to do this. They want me to do this. They are expecting me to deliver this. It's all about them, somebody else, family, relationship, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, children, parents, neighbors, teachers, you name it. We're always building and making goals based on what somebody else wants us to achieve, what somebody else wants us to do. Stop that. Ignore the social pressures. When you're making goals, and I'm going to go back to the same point that Eleni made just earlier, be specific. Make sure that you relate to the goal. Make sure you understand this is your goal. This is something you need to achieve. This is something you have the desire, the necessity, the importance in your life to achieve, and not others, not somebody else. And I love that word, Eleni. I love that word. Set boundaries with people. Set boundaries beyond expectations. Set clear boundaries. And I'm going to repeat Eleni's favorite statement. No is a complete statement. Learn to say no when it's time to say no. Don't put yourself under social pressures, as I was saying. And be you. Just be you. Do you. My ex used to say a lot. I remember he used to say a lot, do you. And I used to go, what do you mean do me? I'm doing me. What else do you want me to do? But now I think back and realize, back in those years, yes, I used to try and do what will please people. I used to try and do what others wanted of me. Not what I was, not who I was, not what I wanted to do. So that's a huge thing about goals. When you're setting your goals, when you're trying to plan what you need to do you, be you, just be yourself. Be clear, what do you want? What are you capable of? What boundaries do you want to push? What limits you want to go beyond, and for what? And for who? That's hugely important. And I absolutely agree, Karen. Stop sacrificing yourself for others, because you know what? There are things and reasons and situations and circumstances where it is fair enough, it is important, it is valuable to sacrifice your priorities or yourself because you love someone, you care for someone, but at what cost? Just be clear of that. And what kind of relationship is it? Is it equal give and take? Do you have a sincere reason to sacrifice something out of your life or yourself for somebody else? So thank you, Karen, for actually bringing up that point. That's so true. So once again, I just want to quickly rehash: set smaller goals, have clear expectations, set realistic deadlines, be you, do you. And I want to thank you, Gospel Emigara, I believe. I'm sorry, Gospel, if I'm taking your name wrong, but again, your name is beautiful, Gospel. I am not even religious, but I just think that's a beautiful name. So thank you, Gospel, for actually doing your live, which gave me this realization and this awakening that yes, I am doing things right, but there's so much more I need to improve, and I need to talk to my audience to take back control of your life, have some balance, set your realistic goals, and just be kind to yourself. Unless you're kind to yourself, how are you going to be kind to others, right? Speaking of kindness, speaking of work-life balance, another thing that comes to my mind, there are 5-6 different campaigns and awareness campaigns and causes I am associated with. I financially sponsor, I volunteer, I create awareness. And one of those topics, one of those causes, or one of those difficult topics is cancer. And I just want to start by saying, uncensored, fuck you, cancer. No, seriously, fuck you, cancer. Do you know why? In less than a decade, I have personally lost 29 people to cancer. My friends, my relatives, my colleagues, my teachers, my neighbors, and my family. I have lost so many people to cancer. I myself have fought with cancer, and I know the feeling that one goes through, and the thing is, you think that people go through, oh, I'm gonna die. You know what? The first pain, the first struggle, the first fear a cancer patient has, what's gonna happen to people I love? What's gonna happen to people who love me when I die? They don't question why me. They don't question why so young, or why at this stage, or I have lived a healthy life and yet I got cancer. No, a cancer patient's first thought is, what's going to happen to my loved ones? I will not get to see what their life will be. They will not have me in their life. Who's going to look after them? Who's going to be there for them? That's the first thing a cancer patient thinks. And it's as frustrating as it is to say, one after another, losing people to cancer, we literally started counting. We as a group of friends have started counting. And I don't know a friend, I don't know a relative, I don't know a colleague who is somehow not touched by cancer. Either somebody in their family, or somebody in their at their work, or somebody in their neighborhood, a friend, or somebody they know, or they themselves have gone through cancer or deal with cancer, or yes, have been affected by cancer somehow or other. So one thing that I would say is that cancer does not discriminate. It does not discriminate what your color is, what your gender is, what your race is, what your sexuality is, what your religion is, what your thought system is. Cancer does not discriminate. It does not even discriminate if you live an absolutely healthy lifestyle. I know a lot of people say cancer happens because you're living this way or you're living that way. No, I know a lot of people who have lived the most perfect way I can imagine in terms of what they eat, protecting themselves from sun, looking after their health, being, going to gym regularly, eating very, very healthy, never consuming anything that could cause cancer, have no history of cancer in their family. And yet, I've lost people as young as 21, and I've lost people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. The point is, the cancer does not discriminate who you are, where you are from, what you look like, what you eat. Yes, some situations, some lifestyle choices make it more possible for cancer to be there, cancer to impact you. But there are so many different types of cancers and so many things, so many ways cancer can come in your body that it doesn't even matter if you're healthy or not. So there's a lot of awareness required, there's a lot of conversation required, there's a lot of support required to keep talking about cancer, keep talking about how you can prevent yourself, it's important to get checked, it's important to keep getting checked, make sure that you are constantly, regularly, if you see any sign, make yourself aware what kind of cancers can happen. If you feel some irregular pain, some unexpected pain for a long term, if you're feeling unwell for a long time, go and get checked. You never know what it is. Go and get checked. But if you get checked in time, you are going to, find out soon. You're going to be able to fight against cancer. You will have high chances of survival. you know. So awareness is extremely important, and support is very important. One thing I will say is sensitivity is most important, because I have seen so many people asking or telling people affected with cancer, including myself, saying, but you look okay, you look fit to me, you look great. How can you have cancer? Are you sure? Please don't do that. Because somebody who's going through cancer, no matter how small or big, when the word cancer comes, the state of mind they're in, the fear they're living with, it's huge. It kills a person inside every second the moment they find out they have cancer. So please don't say you look okay. Cancer doesn't necessarily have only a visual impact. There are so many different types of cancers. There are so many different types of, there's so many ways cancer can impact you. So please don't tell people you look okay. Please don't say, are you sure you have cancer? Please trust them. Please respect what they're dealing with. If you don't understand, ask a question. How did you find out? How is it impacting you? Don't say you look okay. You don't look like you have cancer. There's nothing more painful than people judging somebody's situation while they're dealing with cancer. So please, please, please don't do that. Cancer does not discriminate. Cancer does not, it can happen to anyone. Just be kind, just be careful, and spread as much awareness as you can. Please don't wait for somebody in your life or your own life to be affected by cancer to create awareness. Just create awareness, to learn more about it, talk more about it. And so is about many other diseases, mental health awareness, so many other topics. But today I just wanted to focus on cancer, this being the World Cancer Day. And you guys know, those who have known me for a while, I do talk about 5-6 different topics, and cancer is one of them. So guys, yes, fuck you, cancer is what I'm going to say in the end. Unfortunately, that's the note I want to end this at. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I will get back to you right after this. Thank you so much for watching. This was Almost Naked Conversation with me, Szebastian Onne, the Almost Naked CEO. And I'll see you next time. See you guys.